Hello students, I am Rajiv Jha. I am going to explain my 8th video in series of question and answer on electrical machine part 8, and in this part is going to explain in two section actually. In first section we talk about infinite bus and effect of variation of excitation on no load condition in alternator. So I hope you will like this video. So let's continue. So this is the effect of variation of excitation in alternator. First, we will talk about the infinite bus. Okay, what is infinite bus? Infinite bus is nothing. It is a voltage source actually, where you find out 2 points. First is zero internal impedance. Second is infinite mechanical inertia. Okay, so what is the benefit and why we assuming this zero internal impedance and infinite mechanical inertia? There is a reason actually. Uh, First of all, we know what is infinite bus. Infinite bus means such a, you can say, large alternator or lots of alternator when connected. So by changing of single alternator or changing of single excitation of alternator cannot impact on bus voltage and frequency. So in that case voltage and frequency will be constant. Okay, so the reason behind it comes with, first we consider zero internal impedance. Okay, zero internal impedance, that means there is a zero internal voltage drop. Okay, so zero internal voltage drop means the voltage is constant. So here we conclude that voltage is constant. Okay, then second one is when we talk about the infinite mechanical inertia. Okay, so infinite mechanical inertia means the speed is not changed. Okay, whatever the speed is, you can say speed was running, whatever the rotor takes speed, the same speed will be after changing of any load, the same speed will be occur. So this is called the no speed change. In that case we know ns equal to 120 f upon 120 f upon p. So speed is directly proportional to frequency here. So we can say the frequency is constant. So through this way we know how the frequency and voltage is constant in case of the infinite bus system. So this is all a small, actually this is the small introduction of infinite bus system. A lot of students didn't know about it, so that's why I am discussing here. Okay, so infinite bus system is a system where any external change didn't impact on the voltage and frequency. Okay, so you have seen some, if you want to note it down, then you can write it this: zero internal impedance means here voltage drop is zero, so voltage must be constant. And the second one is infinite mechanical inertia, so no speed change, that means frequency must be constant. So anybody want to write it down, then please write it. This is the important actually line is, there is an important line. Third one is, if you didn't understand what is a infinite bus system, so you can also learn from the, if large alternator, I will told you, if lots of alternator is connected, or you can say the large alternator if connected with a small alternator. So small alternator, if we change the excitation of small machine, so it can't any impact on bus voltage and frequency of large alternator. So this is the main thing what I told you. If you didn't understand yet, so I give you a very simple example. In home supply you see a lot of time there is a voltage dip when you switch on the fridge, or when you switch on the AC, when AC is not or AC and fridge both are not connected with voltage regulator. Okay, in that case you just directly on the AC, directly switch on the AC or switch on the fridge. In that case you observe there is just some voltage dip occur, but in that case the power supply is not a, or home supply is not the infinite bus system. So home supply in infinite bus system for the bulb. If we switch on the bulb or switch off the bulb, there is no any voltage dip occur. So we can assume that home appliances is, with respect to bulb, it is infinite bus system. So that's why a little bulb can't any impact on home appliances, or sorry, home supply, and their voltage or frequency, both the voltage and frequency both. So this, through this way you can imagine what is infinite bus system. Okay, so infinite bus system is the theory to explain the large system, explain the coordination between of large system and small system. So this is all about the infinite bus system. I hope you understand this. Okay, the next one is, so here we are not going to so deeply analysis of infinite bus system. There is a little information we know, because alternator is connected with infinite bus system here. So that's why, so our main objective is to variation of excitation in alternator. So variation of excitation in alternator, that mean we have to move the excitation. So there is a three type of variation we know. First is normally excitation, second one is over excitation, third one is under excitation. So there is a two condition through which we can, you can say, we can examine the excitation in alternator, variation of excitation in alternators. First is no load condition. When load is not connected, then what is the what is the impact on variation of excitation in alternator. Second one is on load condition. Okay, so in this video we take a first part, no load condition, and we will see what is the impact on variation of excitation. Either it is normally excited, then it is over excited and under excited. So these type of variation we will see in this video, and we will talk about only about the no load condition. In my very next video we will talk about the on load condition. Okay, the same variation of excitation in alternator, on load condition. So we will talk in my very next video actually. Okay, so let's start with no load condition. Okay, no load, in no load condition we know, if we excluded all the losses, okay, if we excluded all the losses, that mean in that case the del equal to 0. That is the thing actually. What is del? Actually del is the load angle. Load angle, or you can say the angle between stator and rotating magnetic field, or you can say the angle between stator and rotor magnetic field, if the losses is excluded here. So the del is called the load angle. Okay, so load angle is equal to 0. So we will see the impact on what will be the impact if we, you can say, if we put the del equal to 0. So first of all, this is the active power. So active power equal to P equal to, okay, we generally talk about the cylindrical type synchronous motor, so don't be confused. Okay, and so this is the P equal to for cylindrical type synchronous machine, because we are talking about the turbo generator here. We are not going for the hydro generator or hydro power plant. So in that case, if we are talking about the turbo generator, so because lots of alternator is in India, there is a almost 60%, 70% generation is from thermal power plant. So that's why we are talking about the turbo generator here. Sorry. So P is the active power. So EP equal to EV upon XS sin del. That means here you see, if del equal to 0, then sin del is equal to 0 also, because sin 0 equal to 0. So here we say the active power is 0. Okay. Okay, then next we talk about the reactive power. Okay, as we know, the apparent power is the combination of active power and reactive power, and in any generation, in any alternator, we generate apparent power. Okay, so we are talking about the active power and reactive power both. So it is a combination of active power and reactive power. We know apparent power is the combination of P plus jq. P plus jq. Okay, this is the active power, this is the reactive power. So q equal to v upon xs e cos del minus v. So here this is the formula actually. If you want to know the how the formula derive and all of these stuff, you just because here we are not, I'm not going to explain all the unnecessary thing, because it makes a video so long. So that's why we just here consider, okay, even know the how the derive the how the q, the value of q is coming out from this way. Okay, so this is the formula actually, q equal to v upon xs. Xs is the synchronous reactance, E cos del minus v. So here the E cos del, so here is del equal to 0. In that case, the reactive power is generated. Reactive power is generated actually, because E cos del, cos 0 equal to 1, then we will get the any positive value. Okay, in this case, that means no load condition, active power, either excitation is normally excitation, or we talk about the you can say over excitation or under excited. In both, in three cases, okay, in all the three cases we will know the active power is always equal to 0, but the reactive power may be changed. So here in no load condition we talk about the reactive power only. Okay, so we have to understand, we will talk about the q equal to v upon xs, e minus ka v, e minus v actually. So e is called the emf, v is called the voltage, terminal voltage, v is the terminal voltage, and xs is the synchronous reactance, q is the reactive power. Okay, let me discuss first. First of all, we will have to know, okay, what is the resultant flux. Okay, because of here you see we are talking about the excitation. Okay, we are talking about the variation of excitation. So excitation, first of all, what you know about the excitation. Excitation in the alternator means only the DC current. Okay, only the DC current which flow on the field winding. Okay, so here we control the DC current actually. Here we control the DC current and see what is the impact on the alternator actually. So by controlling the field current, the field current is field current directly proportional to the flux actually. So here you see the field current, if we change the field current, then main field flux will be changed. Okay, so we know the resultant flux equal to phi m plus minus phi a equal to should be constant. So how it is constant we will discuss actually. First we will know phi r is the resultant flux. What is resultant flux? Resultant flux is the, here we talk about the, actually here we talk about how the resultant flux is equal to. So resultant flux is equal to, so resultant flux is phi m plus minus phi a. Okay, and it is constant, but let me see how it is constant actually. So in that case phi r is constant, or phi, the value of phi r is phi m plus minus phi a. Okay, phi a is the armature flux. Here you see phi r directly proportional to v by f. Okay, so we know the in synchronous generator e, or you can say if you talk about the v, okay, if we neglect the losses actually, so v equal to 4.44 f phi n into kw. Kw is the winding factor. Okay, we know this actually, in writing in detail actually, v equal to 4.44 f phi n kw. Here kw is the winding factor, n is the number of turns, f phi is the flux, and f is the frequency. Okay, this is the terminal voltage. So this is the resultant flux actually. So resultant flux, okay, in that case if we convert it through phi r equal to, so we can also write it like 4.44 f n k w. Okay, here you see the value of 4.44, n is the number of turns, kw is the winding factor, so these things are should be constant. Okay, so we can say phi r equal to v by kf. Okay, phi r equal to v by kf. Okay, write it again actually. Phi r equal to V by K into F. We know V is constant in the due to the infinite bus system, because we connected the infinite bus system na, so v is constant. And second one is frequency, so frequency is constant here. So in that case this is also constant, frequency is also constant due to the infinite, we connected the infinite bus system. And voltage is also should be also be constant, so in that case phi r should be constant. So our main objective is to maintain the resultant flux actually. So resultant flux should be constant. This is our main motive in the variation of excitation system. We will have to understand that from the variation of excitation, okay, so we will have to maintain the resultant flux should be constant. This statement should be necessary. Okay, why it is necessary? Because we want to constant voltage and we want to constant flux, sorry, frequency. So that's why their ratio should be constant. Okay, that's why the flux should be constant. So we want to resultant, if the resultant flux is constant, then that means that the ratio of V by F is also constant. That means the voltage is constant and frequency is constant. So that is our main motive. To connect the bus system, we will have to main motive to maintain the voltage and frequency should be constant to connect the infinite bus system. Okay, so let me discuss next. So here we can say no load condition. So first of all we will talk about the as we know, we have discussed earlier the variation of excitation. We have studied three types of variation actually: normal excitation, over excitation, and under excitation. So we know here the del equal to 0. Okay, del equal to 0 we know here actually. So del equal to 0, that means E cos del, that means the value of E cos del equal to, so cos del, that means cos 0 equal to 1. So here we can say E equal to 1. So in normal excitation E equal to V, and that's why we know the equation of you can say reactive power equation. In my previous we have talked about V equal to E upon XS E cos del minus V. So this is the our reactive power actually. So if E equal to V, or you can say E cos del equal to V for terminal voltage, in that case the value of Q, or you can say the reactive power, is equal to 0. So in that case, in this case you can you know about the power, active power is also 0 and reactive power is also 0. So this is called the normal excitation. So no reactive power is either you can say absorb or deliver. Okay, so this is called the normal excitation. So this is the condition of floating. We will discuss in detail in my further in this video actually. So the next one is voltage over excitation. So here actually here we only give the some of the you can say introduction portion. I have given one by one. We will discuss in this video what is normal excitation, what is over excitation, and what is under excitation, and how it will be you can say related to the phasor diagram, how the E cos del is greater than V, how the E cos del how the reactive power, and all of these stuff is you can say discuss in this video actually. So the next one is over excitation. In over excitation means we excited more, so del equal to 0. In that case E is greater than V, so we will get the some positive reactive power. In under excitation, that means the EMF is reduces, or you can say the voltage EMF, the value of EMF is smaller than the V. So in that case we will get the reactive power negative. That means reactive power will be you can say absorbed here. Okay, so this is the condition of under excitation. Next, so first condition is the normal excitation. So how the normal excitation work? So in normal excitation we have discussed E, because of in normal excitation we will first know there is a del equal to 0. Okay, this is the all excited in no load condition, del equal to 0, if we neglect the losses actually. So in that case del equal to 0. Normal excitation we will talk about. Normal excitation means E cos del equal to V. That means we can say E cos del equal to V, that means E equal to V. Okay, this is the first thing. Then second one is Ia equal to, so how can we get the armature current? Armature current is getting by, we know the equation for the alternator, it is E equal to V plus Ia XS. Okay, so sorry, yes, E equal to V plus Ia XS. So this is the, you can say, equation. Okay, so here if we get the Ia armature current, so we can say this is the armature current, and if E equal to V, then at that case armature current will be 0. Okay, armature current will be 0. So if the armature current is 0, that's why if we call the active power, so active power equal to P equal to V into Ia cos phi. So in that case, if armature current is 0, that means active power is 0. If you talk about the reactive power, so reactive power is Q equal to V into Ia sin phi. So that means if Ia is equal to 0, in that case reactive power is 0. So here we see the phasor diagram. So this is V, this is E, and this is equal to, so that's why they are you can say they are on the same phase with equal magnitude. So that's why the single phasor is shown here, single line of phase is shown here. Okay, and we know that EMF is you can say EMF will lagging with phi m is the main field flux. So here we know the EMF, so we do not, we didn't because there is no armature current, so there is a no armature flux. So that means if we want to if we want to, you can say, control, if we want to make resultant flux constant, so we will have to maintain the main field flux, or we will have to maintain our constant, we will have to put the constant value on main field flux. So here phi a is 0, so phi r is directly proportional to phi m. That means whatever the value of main field flux, that is the value of resultant flux also. So here in normal excitation we will talk about this, we will talk like this actually. That means if we consider we need a 10 milliweb, so in normal excitation we will have to generate 10 milliweb flux through the main field flux. Through this way we will get the resultant flux 10 milliweb, and the value of this resultant flux will be constant. Okay, so in this case, in the normal excitation mode, what happened, there is a two thing happen actually. The required flux 10 milliweb, if you talk about the required flux 10 milliweb, so supply only by the main field flux. First thing we will conclude. Second thing, the machine is floating on infinite bus bar. Okay, machine is floating on infinite bus bar. Why it is called the floating? Because neither because in this machine there is a, because in no load condition active power is 0 for all the excitation, either we will talk about the normal excitation or over excitation or under excitation. So second power is reactive power, so here reactive power is also 0. So that means neither active power or reactive power from the bus is given or absorbed through this machine. So that's why when we connected with the infinite bus bar, this type of system is connected with infinite bus bar, then it is just like a floating. That means there is nothing, you are not delivering power, any power, or you are not receiving any power, both. Okay, so this phenomena is called the floating actually. If you are this is called the floating. So in normal in no load condition, normal excitation, the machine or alternator is floating with the infinite bus bar. Okay, now we are going for the next one. Okay, so next one is we talk about the over excitation. So what is over excitation? Okay, so in over excitation we have seen E cos del is greater than the V. Okay, or we can say E is greater than V. So here in my previous in my previous slide we have seen the value of E equal to V plus IA RA. Okay, IA excess, sorry, IA excess. So here we get the value of IA equal to E minus V upon XS. Okay, here you see E minus V upon XS. So phi R. So here we can include there is a some value of current. Okay, here you see the value of current, something is some positive value of current will be, we will get. Okay, so if we get the some positive of value of current, that we can say the positive value of voltage drop is happened. So here we see E is greater than V. Okay, in this phasor diagram you have seen E is greater than V, and E is greater than V, and there is some positive volt current is going to positive voltage drop is occurred actually due to positive current. So here the current which is, you can say, leading with the EMF, so the current is leading here. Okay, or in sorry, lagging actually. So current is lagging because of this is the case of over excitation. So in over excitation the we will take a lagging power factor actually. So it with comparison to V voltage, terminal voltage, there is a lagging current, and due to this the flux, armature flux is also produces in same phase with armature current. Okay, so at the last we want to say the armature flux and magnetization flux both are opposite to each other. That means in overexcited we know where the value of E is greater than V. Okay, the value of E is greater than V. That means we have got a more excitation, we have got the more uh, armature sorry, field current. So that means we have more field current, that means we have more flux, field flux. So we have more field flux, that mean that mean you can say field flux or main flux, we have more main flux. But in my previous example we want only 10, the value of phi r is equal to 10 milliweb. Okay, so we in resultant flux we want only 10 milliweb. This is the example through which way you understand how the so in this case in over excitation the phi m, the value of phi m will be 15 milliweb. Okay, so we will have to reduce 5 milliweb just because of to maintain the resultant flux 10 milliweb. So that's why we opposes the armature flux, opposes the main field flux, and the value of armature flux should be 5. So this is all happened due to the this is all happened automatically due to the phenomena of when we over excited the alternator. Okay, so here you see there is a the phenomena you understand actually. We want phi r. First of all we repeat it again. If so we want phi r a certain value, a constant value. So let me discuss it. If it is the value of 10, okay, through this way, because it is a over excitation, that means there is a field current we supply more, so the main field flux increases. So if it increase and it generates 15 milliweb, so we will have to reduce this 15 milliweb. So the we will have to connect the lagging power factor, or you can say we will have to the armature flux opposes the main field flux with the 5 milliweb. Okay, armature flux opposes the main field flux by 5 milliweb, and this phenomena is called also called the demagnetization. Okay, so demagnetization phi a reduces main flux. Okay, so the value of flux, so value of flux will be down, so value of resultant flux will be down, or that means we will through this way we achieve the magnetic flux will be down, and through this way we will get the constant value of phi r. Okay, let me discuss all of I think you understand well. So the active power is 0 in this case, the active power is 0, and reactive power, the value of reactive power is something positive. So positive reactive power, what do you mean by positive reactive power? I explained earlier. The positive reactive power means you deliver reactive power to the infinite bus system. Okay, you deliver, or alternator deliver reactive power to the infinite bus system. So here the positive means this actually. So our next is in under excitation system E cos del. Under excitation matlab means you will have to know the value of E will be down. Okay, the value of E will be down under excitation, that means the field current will be reduces here. So due to field current reduces, the flux main flux is reduces, the EMF value will be down. That's why we also write it like this. E cos del is smaller than V, that means E is smaller than V. In this case, what happened actually, you know, the IA JIA axis is the voltage actually. So here we see this if we draw it like this, because V here E is smaller than V. So this is E, this is V actually, and here you see JIA axis. If you draw it like down, so IA should be lagging through this voltage. You can also understand this. IA should be lagging, JIA axis. So IA should be lagging, or you can say the voltage drop is leading. Okay, so through this way you can understand the IA. So IA is in the direction of main field flux. Okay, the so listen first actually. If you are going to confuse how the IA is, I have draw this IA into the main field flux direction, because of we know the voltage drop. Okay, we know the voltage drop or current. So current is lagging in case of the inductor. Okay, so current is always lagging in case of the inductor, and this is the coil actually, an armature coil or field coil. So it is you can say we have to assume or we can assume actually the coil is in the form of inductor, or you can say the it contain the property of inductance or inductor. So that's why the IA, the armature current, or in previous also the armature current is lagging with their voltage IA access. So here you see there is a lagging actually, and in previous I will also show you here. Here also the IA is lagging. Here also the IA is lagging actually. Okay, this is the lagging actually. So in this case also IA is lagging with this, and in the previous case also the IA is lagging. So here the IA is lagging. So whatever the direction of IA, the flux, you can say the armature flux is put on that phase or the same phase actually. So phi A and phi M are in the same phase, then this and under excitation phenomena, what we have to do. So first so what we have to do, the phi M and phi A are in the same phase, so we will have to add this, and this is also called the magnetization effect. Magnetization effect. So this is also called the magnetization effect. So in general way, if you are not understanding the magnetization and how the armature current, so in general way, we want to fire 10 milliweb. Okay, so under excitation we will get 5 milliweb from the main field flux. The value of main field flux is 5 milliweb. So armature flux, the value of armature flux should be, you can say, in positive. They should be in positive or add up something. So if we add 5 milliweb, then also we achieve the resultant flux 10 milliweb. So through this way you can also understand, in under excitation system the value of main field flux will be down. So in that case we will have to add something to get or achieve that resultant flux, because we have a main target that resultant flux should be constant. Why it is constant? Because we want voltage and frequency should be constant, so the ratio of voltage and frequency should also be constant. So that's why here 10 milliweb. So to achieve the 10 milliweb we will have to add armature flux, not subtracting it, in case of under excitation. In case of over excitation, the value of main field flux is more as compared to the resultant flux. So in that case we will have to oppose that, we will have to reduce that main field flux. So we are talking about the demagnetization effect over there. Okay, so through this way, one more thing I have also explained here. Here you see the active power is 0, here you see the reactive power is negative. Reactive power is negative, that means it absorbs reactive power. That means if a alternator is connected with the infinite bus system, so in that case, if under excitation we have done, or we have decreased the field current, decrease the field current, or we have given the under excitation system, under excitation field, so in that case alternator absorbs the reactive power from the infinite bus system. Okay, it is not the supplying, it is not supply actually, it absorbs the reactive power from the infinite bus system. Okay, or you can say the large alternator, or large, or lots of connected alternator. So it get reactive power from that system, or it absorbs reactive power from that system. This is the mean of negative reactive power actually. So at the last we just want to, summarize this all concept. So in case of the first of all you will have to know, in there is a two case happened, no load condition and on load condition. So here in this video we will talk about the no load condition, and in very first of my video, after this video we will examine, or we will get to know about the no on load condition of the in on load condition. We have seen the excitation, change in excitation and their impact. So in this video we will talk about the no load condition. In no load condition or it on load condition, there is only three type of changes we have seen. First is normal excitation, second one is over excitation, third one is under excitation. So in normal excitation we have seen the value of V equal to E actually, the value of V equal to E, and in that case active power and reactive power both are 0. That means the alternator is floating with the infinite bus system. That means there is no any power exchange, it is not giving any power or receiving any power from the infinite bus system. This is the this is the condition of floating actually. Second one is, we will talk about the over excitation system. So over excitation means, over excitation, that means excitation, we mean that if we increase the field current. So over excitation means if we increase the field current, that means the main flux is increases, but we want constant resultant flux. So that's why we will have to reduce main field flux. So that's why there is a, you can say, we will have to the armature flux is opposing the main field flux. and through this way the resultant flux will be constant. Okay, so in overexcitation we have seen, and due to this the in overexcitation there is a deliver of power actually. So deliver reactive power, the value of Q is positive, I have seen over there. So in the last under excitation system we have seen this, the value of current is negative here. Okay, first of all you will also note the value of current is negative. Okay, so the value of current is negative. So the value of current is negative, that means the phi r, our second one is because it is under excitation, so the you can say the main flux is reduced, or the value of main flux is smaller than the resultant flux. So that's why the main field flux, it should be the armature flux should be support the main field flux to achieve the constant resultant flux. Okay, so that's why we will talk here we will talk about the magnetization process. Okay, and we know P, the value of active power is 0 in the case of no load condition. So this is true for all type of excitation we have done, and the reactive power in this under excitation we have got the negative value. That means we absorb the reactive power from the infinite bus system. Okay, so through this way we have completed one topic, actually one and not a one topic, actually this is the part of one topic. And in my next very next lecture we have seen what is the what impact happened if we talk about the on load condition of excitation. The same excitation we have discussed actually, you can say normal excitation, and we talk about the over excitation and under excitation, but for the on load condition. Okay, so so from this way we end up this video, and I hope you understand this concept of infinite bus system, concept of excitation on the no load condition. And at the last I want to say, if you have any doubt, if you have any if you have any questions, queries, please comment it. Okay, we will see and we will include that question in my next video if it is possible. Okay, so thank you very much for uh, for being with this video till last. So thank you.